The war has impacted my job in many, many ways. I mean, to begin with, it's changed the nature of our work. HealthRight has historically been a development organization. That means that we focus on building sustainable health system strengthening, building capacity of health systems with a much longer term sort of view. The work here in Ukraine since the start of the war in 2022 has really focused on humanitarian response. And so the nature of that work is fundamentally different. We're now very much in an emergency, acute response phase.
Люди їхали масово з східної, південної, центральної України на західну, і саме там Львівська і Закарпатська області ми зробили такі перші, скажімо так, два хаби, і за підтримки ЮНІСЕФ запустили перші мобільні бригади, які почали допомагати центрам соціальних служб, власне, справитися з цією навалою людей, які переселяються.
Було страшно, насправді. Ми 3 дні. Та я згадую, там 3 дні ми ночували в погрібі.
We're here right now in one of our warehouses. Medical supplies, food that we are distributing to halfway houses, drop-in centers, clinics, etc. So we do a lot of logistics now around distribution of commodities that people need just to survive. The focus is now on emergency service delivery, making sure people have access to reproductive health care, HIV treatment, mental health services, which are in great need at the moment, as you can imagine. We've gone from about 150 employees here in Ukraine, all Ukrainian, to about 550. Helena and the rest of the team have done, I've been inspired non-stop. Visiting mobile teams, visiting IDP centers, clinics, completely in awe and inspired by the work that they're doing. Under difficult circumstances, our staff themselves are deeply impacted by this war.
Телефоную її керівнику безпосередньо, кажу, пані Людмила, я не можу дозвонитися. Вона каже, Наталь, не телефонуйте. В їхній будинок потрапила ракета. Ти живеш одним сьогоднішнім днем, і ти не розумієш, чи настане в тебе завтра.
What I've been thinking a lot about is how can we do more, how can we help more, because they need to be cared for in order for them to be able to care for the communities that have been displaced by this conflict. We've met with partners, UN partners, civil society partners, government partners, and they're just incredibly, incredibly grateful for the support that we've brought. The gratitude is really humbling. I'm busy sort of thinking about how can we increase our impact, how can we grow it, how can we scale it. I watched this conflict unfold like a lot of people on the news. Today we visited some of those villages that were really on the front line that we all saw in the earliest days of the conflict. The evidence of that, it's really, really moving. And so, but it was over a year ago now, and I think it's just kind of human nature. We sort of and particularly with the news cycle the way it is, we just have a tendency to move on. I'm so glad I've been here, that I've been on the ground, because I think in a really visceral way, I'm reconnected to this conflict, and I'm reminded that we can't drift, we can't lose focus. What does rebuilding look like? We are a development organization. That's really the stage at which we enter the picture typically. This is going to be a long-term development process for Ukraine, not a few years, decades of rebuilding health systems, mental health systems, education, infrastructure. How is the emergency response that we're focused on delivering now essentially planting the seeds and providing a foundation for further growth and development once the conflict subsides, and really thinking about, okay, is the way we're delivering services, the systems that we're putting in place, how can we make sure that those form a foundation for future growth and the rebuilding phase after this horrible conflict?